start with you. How much has this series changed your opinion of how good the Cavaliers are?
Well, how good LeBron James is? I just wanted a couple guys to show up to give him some support, and that's what he's needed. He's playing the best basketball in the postseason that we've seen. The numbers would support that. But also, he's gotten the least amount of support. I mean, we basically went through the whole series with the Pacers where no one contributed 20 points. We talked about it. 3,480 players had scored 20 points this year, and LeBron couldn't get one for 7 games. So now, since then, we've been consistent. A guy scoring in the 20, other teammates. It's like a race to get to 20 now to be able to help him out. So, yes, I had to change. Also, the way they've dominated Toronto. I thought they would beat Toronto, but I thought they would lose to Philadelphia in the championship in the East. Now, Philadelphia, where they are now, that's a different story. But how the Cavs and their supporting players made me change my opinion that potentially if Philadelphia was playing good, I still might change it to the Cavs being the best in the East.
I've been consistent on this one all year long. This season didn't go in the regular season exactly the way I thought it would. And the first round was harder than I thought it would be. But this round's gone just like I thought. And the next round's going to go just the way I've said. And what it's going to end up is the Cavs rolling through the Eastern Conference and then being heavy underdogs in the NBA Finals. Like, whether they're playing Golden State or Houston, it's going to take LeBron playing at this level and Kevin Love keeping up what he's done the last 2 games, averaging 26 and 13, and the good Kyle Korver, and some good luck for them to compete with either one of those 2 teams. One is having an all-time season in Houston, the other an all-time team in Golden State. But instead of teasing it too far forward, I just want to look just a week ago backwards. Because when LeBron James turned the ball over with 30 seconds left in Game 5 against the Indiana Pacers, there was legitimate thought that that was going to be the last game he ever played in Cleveland as a Cavalier.
Yes, it was on the board.
It was on the board. They lose that game. The next game's in Indiana.
Yep.
That would have been a gut punch loss for Cleveland. And then it's a wrap. He's leaving. What has he done since that moment? Well, he had a block to save the game. He then hit the 3 to win the game. The next time they were in Cleveland, he had 45 points in a clinching Game 7. The next time they were in Cleveland was this weekend. 38, 6, and 7, and one of the highest degree of difficulty buzzer beaters I've ever seen. That's what he's done since that moment. As high pressure as there could be, continued to deliver.
So maybe the question shouldn't be, has their narrative changed of what we think of the Cavs? Maybe it should also be, has this narrative changed of how clutch LeBron James is, CC? Because all along we've thought he can do everything, A to Z, top to bottom, except be there at the very end to make the last shot, to want the last shot, to win with that last shot. And it seems from the last couple weeks, he's as clutch as anyone we've ever seen.
Yeah, I've told Nick this before. There's only two things that concern me about LeBron and the comparison with Jordan. It was never the clutch question. It was longevity. How long can he stay in his prime? Because I believe that's one of the few ways that he can better Michael Jordan, and what he does in the finals. So for me, those things, LeBron's doing the longevity thing. He's not to the finals yet. So I never had that question, was he clutch? Like, people went, oh, how can you be? Well, he had 36 points before he makes the shot. All right, the other game we talked about, how many points did he have before he made the clincher against Indiana?
41.
I mean, so I played too many games. I've been in too many events. I've been around too many players to realize that all parts of the game are important. And when you score and you make contribution the way LeBron does as far as rebounds and assists, it's impossible for him not to be clutch. All these closeout games where he's had phenomenal stats in, it's impossible for him not to be clutch.
And he is now being rewarded for making the right basketball play forever in his basketball career in these situations, because teams are afraid to double team him. I know Dwayne Casey after the game said, I told him to trap, and then he said, maybe we should have told him to trap, and OG said, hey, we weren't told to trap. What they certainly weren't told to do is make sure anyone but LeBron beats us. Double him, get the ball out of his hands. You know why? Because LeBron, unlike Kobe, if that happens, he will make the right play, which is why LeBron in these situations, forget buzzer beaters, we can expand it. Final 5 seconds to win a playoff game is 8 of 16 in his career, and Kobe was 5 of 22 in his. And Clutch is not just the final shot of a game. Clutch sometimes is an entire game. Your season is on the line. You are facing elimination. Since he melted down, and it was a meltdown against Dallas, he's played 13 of those situations. His team's 10-3. He's averaging around 35 points, and he has been brilliant in each and every one of those games. But if we want to boil down Clutch to the final seconds of a game, we now know he has two playoff buzzer beaters this week. Jordan had 3 for his career. Kobe had 1 for his career. The entire NBA, every player playing right now, collectively.
I think that we try to talk about buzzer beaters like they happen all the time, and we don't know what the stats. It's very, very rare, and even rarer for the greatest to get these attempts.
Right. So of every player in the league right now, collectively, they have 10 playoff buzzer beaters. LeBron's got 5 of them.
Wow.
5 other players have 1 of them. If we want to expand it to guys that aren't still in the league, just guys since LeBron came into the league, and we want to expand it to that last 5-second situation, no one has made more than 3 in the last 15 years. No one is shooting better than 37%, except for LeBron, who's made 8 of them and is shooting 50%.
Okay, you'll forgive me if we've asked this before, but I'm sorry that we have to ask it again. Is this now sustainable for 2 more rounds?
I don't think so. I don't. This team is not good enough to be able to win the finals. Can they get to the finals? Yes, against Boston or against Philadelphia.
Continue to play like this?
Oh, LeBron will play well. Yes, he will. Because their lack of a point guard, the way he plays the game, this is the highest skill level as far as dribbling, shooting, rebounding the basketball. It's the highest skill level he's had his whole career.
I don't know what's going to happen in the finals. Here's what I know. In these playoffs, LeBron's averaging 35, 10, and 9 on 55%. He won a series in round 1 where, like CeCe mentioned, not a single teammate ever scored 20 points. I don't know what will happen in the finals. I do know that barring a meltdown in the next 2 weeks, either against Toronto, which won't happen, or Boston, which won't happen, LeBron reaching the finals with this team is one of the Mount Rushmore accomplishments of his career. And if at the end of it, they lose in the finals, and we use what he's done in these playoffs against him legacy-wise, it'll be one of the most absurd moments of sports punditry ever. No player in the league could have Cleveland in this position. I don't know if any player in league history could have Cleveland in this position.
Just let me know the day, though, he gets